Hey Neomore, hi to he. Miss you. Neomore, I really can't wait till I can meet you in person. Um, so this book that I'm about to read is called Malay Under the Night Sky. This is a very important book for me because it tells the story of about Lao refugees. Um, and it's pretty important that there are books out there like this simply because history is easy to be rewritten or told by anyone who's victor in any war. But this story is the history of our family. My dad, um, your grandpa, Chow Patul, um, came from Laos as a refugee after the Vietnam conflict. And I believe it was 79 or anyways, it 82. Yeah, maybe. I can't remember the exact year. But this is a story that family friendly ish and kind of explains some of the stuff that my aunts, my uncles, my dad, my grandfather, my Matul, all of them that they've had to do and had to deal with personally. This is just one story about the Lao refugees who survived the war. There are going to be some Lao words in here. I will try my best to pronounce them. I never really learned the language when I was younger, so I know some of my pronunciation will be off. If anybody's watching this happens to be Lao and knows how to correct these, please let me know down in the comments if there are comments. But let's go ahead and get this started. It's called Malay Under the Night Sky, a Lao Story of Home, written and illustrated by YOUME. YOUME. So, nice little note. In Lao, in the Lao language, Malay means jasmine flower, which is a very sweet-smelling small white flower. It blooms at night and can resemble stars. In many cultures, people read the night sky to find stories, and children are recognized as being bright leaders, stars of the earth. Now, this is the story of a real little girl named Malay and the jasmine flower in the night sky of her home. One of the things I love about this book is some of the illustrations in it. When Malay was very young, she already knew that the world was big, nigh, and full of wonderful things. Now, right here on this page, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, it has the English word big, and next to it in blue it's written in English NGAI, so nigh, how you pronounce it. And on the picture, you see Malay with the baby chick, and this is the Lao writing for how to spell big or nine. She loved to sit in front of her house and ask everyone, "Where are you going? Ciao pai sai." Once again, you see the picture of Bird in a Cage, Malay, and her family. Right here in Laos, she's asking where they're going. The people went everywhere, to festivals, to work, to visit family, to play, to market, to the fields, to swim, to go to temple. Where did Malay like to go? In this picture, you can see what looks like a map. Each one has the Lao writing next to it for what the picture is. For example, this one is for the festival. This one to work. This one is a small picture of the market or the lot. And this one is to visit family, to play, and to temple. Also, in Lao, the word for temple is wat, W-A-T. Climbing in the flowering trees. Beautiful, Nam Lai. Catching tiny fish in the rice fields. Quick, quick, bye, bye. In this one, you see Malay in the trees, and over here you see him in what looks like the rice paddy getting fish. So, bye means quick, and beautiful is Nam Lai. Finding pale bamboo shoots in the dark forest. Where are you? Zhao you say? In this picture, you see them playing around in thick bamboo. Looks almost like they're playing hide and seek. Over here, you see someone asking, Zhao you say? Well, Malaya is down here. Looks like she's getting pieces of bamboo off of it. Napping with her family during the hottest time of the day. Shh. In this picture, you see the family all laying down with the fan blowing on them. And there's even a baby in a cot. So in Laos, it's very close to the equator. It's usually very humid and hot, especially compared to most places in America. Well, except places, maybe Nevada, things like that. Anyways, she loved to make feasts with her aunts, spicy hot and delicious seplai. In this picture, you see them mixing stuff in a tham. The family all sitting around with different types of food on wicker tables. To say delicious, you would say seplai. Sep is good. Lai usually means a lot. So when you put those together, seplai, you get delicious. On very special days for weddings or when someone was traveling far away, family and friends gathered to eat, to dance together, and to tie strings around each wrist or each other's wrist. This was a way of showing that their hearts would always be together. Sog sai, sog sai, sog sai. See, in this picture, you see everyone tying strings around another person. When they tie these white strings around your wrist, it's usually for good blessings or wishes for the family. But something was changing where Malai lived. People stopped going everywhere. No one sat outside their houses to greet their friends. Fighting in neighboring countries was bringing danger to the land and the people. Even the birds were disappearing. In this picture, you see Malai standing on the porch, kind of leaning outside of the house. And if you notice, up here where the bird usually was in the cage, the bird is now missing. One night, the strings were for Malai and her family. Malai wondered, would she be leaving her home? That night, Malai listened to her parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles talking. You have to take the children. No one is safe here. The war is getting closer. See, in this picture, you see family members tying strings on Malai's wrists, giving her blessings and hopefully to keep her safe. Only a few hours later, her family hurried through the mysterious night. When they saw soldiers on the road, they slipped in behind the trees and did not make a sound. A cloud covered the moon. They came to the wide Mekong River. How would they ever cross it? So in this picture, you see that it's really dark outside and there's a big river separating the shore from another. The Mekong River is a really large river that actually serves as a border between Laos and Thailand. The river travels all the way from Southeast Asia, goes through Laos, Thailand, and all the way up into China eventually. Malai felt her father's strong arms lift her up and put her into a small wooden boat. The clouds passed away, and the clear round moon shone high in the sky, reflecting on the water and the family quietly crossing. So in this picture, you see Malai being held by her dad with all of the strings on her wrist for the many blessings. The same thing if you look at the baby, her brother, her mother, and her dad. They all were given the strings to give them blessings for safe travel and hopefully, well, for any type of blessing or prayer that you would normally have for people who may be doing something risky or might be in danger. Her mother offered rice, flowers, and prayers to the spirits of water, asking that the family be safe and comfortable. Sabai, Sabai. In the picture right here, you see the writing for how it's spelled Sabai in Lao. You also see up here a water painting of little jasmine flowers being offered into the river. They slept outside that night in a banana grove, where the broad, soft leaves let the blue moonlight through. Malai and her family were so tired, yet they were glad to feel safe together beneath the full moon. So in the pictures, it uses very dark colors, but it shows the family asleep at night being covered by various banana trees. Not the trees, the banana leaves. But the other side of the river was a new country. And when they woke up, they found themselves lost with so many other traveling families. Men came and arrested them for not having a home. In this picture, you see the Malay and her family and soldiers finding them. Now, Malay and her family went from Laos. They crossed the Mekong River in order to get into Thailand for hopes of finding a safer place to live so that their family can continue to be together. Now, Malai was in the worst place she had ever been. A crowded jail. Angry, tired jailers. No flowers, no fish, no trees, and no home. Was everything lost to her? In the picture, you see a jailer with the cell keys, and over here, you see Malai and her family and what looks like several other people, a lot of people, all stuck in a prison because they crossed illegally into Thailand. they became refugees. In this picture, you see Malay praying and hoping along with their family. Malay looked at her wrists and saw the strings that tied her to her beautiful home. She told everyone in the jail her memories. Everyone who heard her felt that they too were climbing trees, catching fish, and feeling both free and loved. They remembered their own beautiful homes, and though the journey to a new home would be long and hard, their hearts were safe when they remembered where they had come from. Sorgsai. Sorgsai. So, blessings. So, right now, while they're being kept in the jail, Malay is telling the stories. It helps relieve a lot of concerns and things like that. And because of that, remembering the stories, it helps people to remember their past. Remember what life was like before the war. So, this is a page from the author. I am Malay. My full name is Malay Chansuk Konchao. Malay means jasmine flower and Chansuk means full moon. But when you put my name together, it also means fortuitously guided by the light of the night sky. I really lived the experience in this book. I grew up to be an artist and an activist so that all people may celebrate their own creativity even in the most difficult of situations. I have lived in many different countries. Everywhere I meet artists, and there are as many ways to be an artist as there are people to meet. And when we share about where we have come from, we all find that our homes are safe in our hearts, even though they may not have been safe in the world, and the home that we share with one another is a brighter place for everyone's part in it. Right here is a self-portrait that was made by Malay in 2003. Over here you see a picture of the author. So this is what Malay looks like in real life. On the last page, Healing the Wounds of War by Ravisak Prasavat, as told to Jessica Powers. Laos is a country surrounded by other countries, sharing its borders with Myanmar, or Burma, and China to the northwest, Vietnam to the east, Cambodia to the south, and Thailand to the west. I was born in 1964 in Laos during the Civil War. There has never been a time without war for me. I first realized I was in the middle of the war in a single moment. It was afternoon. The city was quiet. There was a bomb explosion. I looked up at the sky and I saw a rocket coming. All of a sudden, I saw someone blown away, like dust, like one breath of life. She just disappeared in a second, and I will never forget that moment. A country much bigger than Laos was conducting a secret war in our country to build a defense against our neighboring country of Vietnam. That big country was America. For 9 years, bombs were dropped on my country, one bombing mission every 8 minutes. When I was 13 and a half, the communists took over, and many of us were forced to leave because of the political turmoil. My family and friends told me I had to leave Laos. I didn't know what was going to happen, and I decided to escape. Circumstances brought me to America. There I was reunited with some, but not all of my family. Malay and I were both the children of war. What we experienced became the energy that drew us together as friends. We are not only bound by the atrocities of our war experience, but also because living in exile inspired us to be the kind of artists we are today. We transform our life experience, our cultural heritage, to create awareness and a tool for better understanding of our histories. Stories like Malay in the Night Sky are a balm that will heal the wounds of war. Our stories can vitally inspire victims of war to face their own history and to be able to let past tragedy and trauma be resolved. I am very sure Malay's story will find its own way to inspire the hearts and souls of victims of war, of refugees, of immigrants, and asylum seekers all around the world. Davai Suk Prasavat, writer, artist, and filmmaker. So, that was Malay Under the Night Sky, written and illustrated by YOUME. It's kind of hard sometimes to find history. A lot of the time when you look into history of Southeast Asia, the main thing that'll come up in most searches is the Vietnam War. But there was a lot of turmoil at the time. As the book said, there was a civil war that took place in Laos, and the communist country eventually won the war, and so those loyal to the royal family, most of them became refugees. Stories like these are very important because they tell the story of people who survived horrendous tragedy. They were able to overcome unsurmountable difficulties. It's hard to consider what they had to face, especially in first world countries like France, Europe, or America. But it is very important that we study history, that we learn from it, so that people like Malay, like like my family, Patul, all of them, so that the culture can continue to live on. I hope you enjoyed this story. Appreciate the time you guys take to listen. Dahi, I love you, son. I miss you. Hope you receive your heart soon. More. I hope you've been enjoying the stories. I really can't wait to meet you. Love you. Pulung Hak Chao. Love you guys.